Hi. Hai, good morning, selamat pagi, Assalamualaikum dan selamat Hari Raya yang ke-8 maybe. Alright, good morning everyone. Today as usual, Segi College is always active doing webinar during this MCO period, alright? Okay, for today, let's cut to the chase. Today is the webinar for the topic of what you are facing right now, which is COVID-19. And the thing that we want to discuss for today is how is COVID-19 tested in laboratory. All right, so before that, okay, I would like to welcome to all our viewers for today. Thank you for being with us for today's morning, still early in the morning for some, right? So it's 11 in the morning, all right? Hi, Habibi Hijazi, all right? So, okay, all right, for today, okay, my name is Amin. I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Amin. I'm academic course counselor in Segi College, Kuala Lumpur, all right? So, for today's webinar, we have two very knowledgeable panel in our college, Segi College Kuala Lumpur. The first one, later I will introduce them. Let's say hi to all of you guys first, all right? Okay, so so I can see a lot of viewers for today, most of them from our YouTube platform. So for everyone out there, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, all right? And click the bell icon so you can be notified with the latest updates from us, all right? And also, please do not forget to subscribe our Facebook and Instagram. Sorry, not subscribe, to like and share our Facebook and Instagram, all right? So, without further ado, I would like to introduce our first panel, which is the lecturer of Diploma in Medical Laboratory, Miss Marlina. Hi, Miss Marlina.
I am Siti Marlina Saleh, lecturer for the MLT in Segi College KL. So I've been teaching in MLT for about 10 years, okay? And so as for today, you guys know, right? We have like COVID-19, everyone knows about it, okay? And then you have seen in the social media that COVID-19 are being tested, okay? Doesn't matter where are you from. Let's say, for example, you're coming back from overseas, okay, or you just need to cross in between the state. So COVID-19, so you have seen in the social media how they do it. They are going to take your swab, okay, swab test. They will do a swab test on you guys, and then they are going to send the samples to the lab. So did you ever wonder what happened to your samples in the lab? Okay, are they crying? Are they feel cold in the lab? Okay, so actually, this is the flow. If you have taken the swab samples, okay, from the people, so what they will do is they will send the swab samples into the lab, okay, and from there they are going to be tested, and the result will turn out to be positive or negative, okay. And then after that, after the test has been tested and the result coming out, so our DG, Datuk Dr. Nur Hisham's, they will do the announcements. They will share the informations. Every day he will share how many numbers of COVID-19 positive cases. Okay, so what happened actually to our swab test in the in the lab? Okay, so here I have a very knowledgeable person, okay, about this COVID-19 test. Okay, he is Dr. Sam Kwan from a Neogenics Laboratory. So he is the founder and managing director of Neogenics Laboratory. Okay, so to answer our questions, what happened to the samples in our lab? Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to invite Dr. Sam Kwan to share his knowledge about what happened to our sample, how they are being tested, and how is the result is being interpreted.
Hi, good morning, sir, everyone. I'm Dr. Sam. You all can call me the Sam, SAM. Saya anak Malaysia, SAM, Sam. So, without any further delays, I would like to, to present today the topic and share with you how we test the COVID-19 in our lab. Okay, so actually, the Nugenix Labs is a molecular diagnostic labs established in the 2016. We are the molecular diagnostic labs specialized to molecular diagnose the infectious disease, genetics, and cancer tests. So we all know that COVID-19 is infectious disease caused by a new virus, the name as a severe acute respiratory syndromes, coronavirus, we call the SARS-CoV-2. So this is a pandemic, and we call it as COVID-19, the pandemics that caused by the SARS-CoV-2. So the outbreaks was first identified in the Wuhan, China last year's end of the year's December 2019. So at that time, we named this virus as Wuhan virus or coronavirus, Wuhan strain, until the name of the SARS-CoV-2 appeared. So the outbreaks actually also spreads to the other countries and more than hundreds and 88 country. So actually, the WHO also decreased the outbreaks of the public's health emergency international concerns on 30 January and declared as a pandemics on the 11th of the March. So this is the data that I obtained yesterday. So we know that we have more than 6 millions of the people infected by the COVID-19, more than 6 millions, and the confirmed case, and we have already more than 383 death reported, which means that the mortality rate is about 6%. So this is a case that happens in Malaysia. From the yesterday's the record, we have around more than 8,000 cases in the Malaysias. And actually, how does the virus spread between the people? Is from the cross contacts, most often through the droplets produced by the coughing, sneezing when they're talking. So this will cause the virus to transmit to another people's. And some from one of the studies that previously that is published, actually they from animals like dogs actually that contain the virus might be have a risk to spread the COVID-19 this disease to the humans. So the droplets usually found on the ground or surface. So rather than traveling through the air over the long distance, the common the symptoms of these virus, including the fever, cough, diet. Sometimes you have a difficulty in the breathing, and some less common will cause diarrhea and loss of the sense of the smell. These are the normal, the common symptoms. So for your information, our lab is one of the first among of the first lab to establish the COVID-19 the testings to help the government to less their burdens to detect the COVID-19 the case. And so far, our capacities per day is around thousand to 1,500 per day, which means that we can detect more than 1,000 samples per day of them from the nasopharyngeal swabs and the oropharyngeal swabs. So these just share with you all some of our lab facilities of our labs. So like now, so far, maybe you have some questions. Maybe we can have a discussions. Um, if you have any questions, maybe we can have a discussions.
All right, thank you, Dr. Sam. All right, so that's a bit of introduction, I guess, about the COVID-19. How is the COVID-19 affected? What is the latest infections in Malaysia? How many and how many recovered? How many positive? How many new cases? I think Dr. Sam have shared with us a little bit. And everyone, I think all of us should be proud with our Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia. They are doing their very best in protecting us, and also the frontliners, the police, the army, doctors, nurses. So they are playing their role, huge role actually. So we as a good citizen, of course, we need to play our role as a good citizen to follow all the SOP during this MCO, to follow all the rules and regulation. All right. Okay. So right. So any questions? Any questions to our handsome Dr. Sam Kwan? All right. So any questions? Please drop it in the comments section of your Facebook or YouTube platform. All right. So Dr. Sam,
Yeah.
can I ask you something?
Okay.
How I'm not asking how old are you. How young are you?
Actually, at this just I 25 years old.
25 years old, already a
Yeah.
doctor. Oh my God. Yeah. So Segi especially are lucky to have such a young doctor and to be the lecturers, the teachers to our students. So I'm expecting, I think numbers of our students or Segi students also joining this webinar. So I'm expecting a tough question for you, Dr. Sam, because they are the students.
Okay.
All right. So let's say, all right. All right. First question here from Norhanani Taldiri. What is the cause for the sudden increase in new cases? So, Dr. Sam, answer?
Actually, sudden increase of the new cases at the peaks, which means that because we haven't covers all those screenings, we all screen. What we do is we screen all the some of the target groups like cross contact with the positive the cases, but still we still have a big group like the foreigners that we have to screen. So now we start screen some of the foreigners with cross contacts in the construction site, like the securities, some security guards. So when we start screen these the foreigners with cross contact with positive contact, yes, at first there are one positive or two, three the positive, and other the cross contacts are negative, but they're negative is not doesn't mean they are the true negative, but maybe it's after 10 days, the 14 days, all these cross contact may turn into the positive. That's why sometimes all these cluster will be abused and we touch screens and there's a new pics coming up.
All right. That's the answer for the question. So I hope Nur Hanani, you listen well to the answer. All right. So as per my knowledge also, there are a lot of clusters. There are several clusters that are still active, and there are clusters that our KKM proudly announced that we already finished the clusters. The clusters is no more active anymore. All right, so we should feel relief a bit. So, but we cannot feel easy at all because it's a virus. It's something that we cannot be seen.
Yeah.
All right. So to proceed, because we are receiving quite a number of questions. I would like to choose this one from Non Shahira Fazira. Doctor, may I know what is current treatment available for COVID? Other than hydroxychloroquine, as Malaysia has higher number of recovered cases compared to other countries. So Shahira nak tahu hebat sangat ni Malaysia ni macam mana? Is it Malaysia have our own vaccine or anything? I'm not sure. So maybe Dr. Sam, a bit about this.
Yeah, so far actually we don't have any of the vaccines for this virus, and actually we don't have any specific treatment antiviral or drugs. So what we do is we just manage the symptoms, and also actually most of the positive case actually they without the symptoms, they don't have anything, they don't show any symptoms. So only for some severe case they need some ventilators to help how to say their briefings. They just manage the symptoms as I know, but I don't think there's any specific drug antiviral or vaccines for the for this COVID-19 patient.
Okay, thank you for the answer. All right. Actually, I have correction a bit. Actually, Dr. Sam Kwan is not our staff, Sagi staff. He's our invited guest actually. Actually, I was quite excited to see Dr. Sam because his face is familiar face. So I'm familiar with him. All right. Okay, so to add on, I think, the next simple question lah. I think I can answer this, but should be from Dr. Sam itself lah. So, Dr. Sam, can COVID-19 be caught from a person who has no symptoms?
I think most of the cases that actually is without any the symptom. They're infected by the SARS-CoV-2, but maybe they have the immune system is good. That's why they do not have presents any symptoms like the fever, the cough. So this is also quite dangerous because we do not know the patients infected or not because they did not show any symptom. But these infected, like the acute infected, the people without symptom can actually spread the virus to other people.
Yeah, sure. I think in terms of infected or not, symptoms of or not, we ourselves cannot determine by ourselves lah. That's why we need to be tested, right, Dr. Sam?
Yeah.
So symptoms or no symptoms, if you have the similarities with others, like you have traveled to the countries that have been affected heavily with the COVID-19, or you have been in contact with any COVID-19 patients. So yes, of course you have no symptoms, but you need to be tested. So back to the main topic, how the COVID-19 tested in the lab. So one question from Lageshwari Sangaligam. Is it maximum capacity is 1,000? Then if there is more than 1,000, is it Dr. Sam will accept the sample or not?
Yeah, actually, our the capacity is 1,000 to 1,500. So actually, if we more than our capacities, normally we will take the samples and process, because for the testings of this process we need a different stage. Like we need the extracts to sample receptions, heat inactivations. Yeah, we will accept the samples, but we will do as fast as we can, because we know that other patients also worry of their result. And I believe not our lab, but other than labs also upgrade our capacities so that we can detect more, maybe 2-3 thousands per day.
Um, that's the answer, but Logeshwari. Okay. So, okay, Dr. Sam. So far, this is a question from myself. So far, how do you think Malaysia cope with the COVID-19 situation? Your honest opinion?
So far, based on our the capacities, I think we handled it quite good, and our KKMs also adopt a different strategy to increase their capacities. Not only for the RT-PCR, but we also increase our capacities using some like the rapid antigens. Yes, although the sensitivities is not as high as the RT-PCR, but if we detect the positive, it's quite accurate positive positive the result. So combined with the rapid antigen the test and the RT-PCR, actually we quite our capacity is actually is quite good. And we know that the KKM also increase their capacity and upgrade their methods together with our private labs. And I'm also very how to say, very happy that now more and more the private labs join into our groups, and to detect some more of the COVID-19 in these screenings campaigns.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the keyword here is the efficiency, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Efficiency. How efficient you handle this situation, that's the result, positive or negative. So
yeah,
let's say even the test, because for COVID-19 test, there are various kind of test kit, right, Dr. Sam?
yeah,
So
yeah,
luckily, we Malaysia, we are doing I think the most effective
yeah.
test. Yep. So yeah, we should be proud, because a lot of countries have been following our development, how we handle this situation. Germany, UK,
Mhm.
the United States itself, right? So don't, please don't think Malaysia is a small country. Okay, Malaysia is I think we can be proud of our own country, how we manage this situation. All right. Of course, the number of deaths have been not increasing. I think around 1 month, right? Am I right?
Yeah, yeah. So
Around one,
actually, our mortality rate is around 1.4%.
yeah, 1.4%
Yeah,
on, yeah. So it's very, very low compared to other countries affected. But still, no joy yet. All right, Dr. Sam. Okay, I have one question, another question, but this question maybe I would like to pass to Miss Marlena, our own lecturer, because this is just, I think the question is suitable for Miss Marlena. All right. Miss Marlena from Balvinder Dylan, the question is, are sanitizers, antimicrobial agents, and antibiotics effective in preventing or treating COVID-19? Comments?
Okay, thank you, Amin, and thank you, Balvinda, for asking questions. And it's sanitizers, antimicrobial agents, and antibiotic. Okay, to answer the first question, is antibiotic. I don't think it will be effective because this is coronavirus virus, right? So antibiotic is to kill the bacteria. I'm not really sure what do you mean by antimicrobial agents. Okay, but for sanitizer, it will help. Okay, it will help to prevent. Okay, yes, but it's good if you have the opportunity to wash hand. wash hands together with the soap. Okay, because the soap, they are able to kill the virus. They are having the content of the soap. Okay, they can be able to dissolve the lipid content on the virus surface. So that's why they can kill off the virus. Okay, so it's better for you to wash your hand with soap. If you don't have that opportunity to do that, okay, sanitizers will help, but don't inject sanitizer into your body, because after all, this is alcohol, this is a chemical. Just work on the surface of your body, not into your body. Okay. Okay. I hope, Balwinda, I did answer your questions. Okay. If you have further questions, you're still not very clear, then you can post another questions. Okay. I will be able to answer it if I know the answer. Okay. Back to
All
Amin. Thank you,
right,
Amin.
thank you for the cute question. A cute question comes from a cute person, I think. All right. So, all right. Okay. Before that, I need to remind again, everyone, please like and share our Facebook and Instagram, so that everyone can see this also. This sharing about this webinar about how is COVID-19 tested in the lab, and a bit of small talks about our current situation COVID-19. So, and plus semua orang pun is wait, tak sabar when is the PKPB will end. So I know everyone should be patient about this, because we are doing this for ourselves, not for others. So kalau kita jaga kita, everyone will be fine. So all right, there's a lot of questions. So before that, I think I will pass this. Dr. Sam will proceed with his presentation on the topic, how is COVID-19 tested in the lab. So there you go, Mr. Dr. Sam.
Okay, so now we start our presentations. Okay, for the COVID-19 testings, actually can be classified into two categories. One is to identify the SARS-CoV virus, meaning that to detect the presence of the virus itself. So it includes like the reverse transcription, the PCR, isothermal nucleic acid applications, or antigen testings. And another test is those that detects the antibodies that produce in response to infections. So actually we have two the broader categories. So for the to detect the presence of the virus is normally we the sample specimens requirements for the presence of the virus detection through the nucleic acids or the antigen detection is from the nasopharyngeal swabs or oropharyngeal swabs. And some of the tests that may require some like sputums, bronchoalveolar lavage, and the tracheoaspirate. These more the sample types that are for to detect the virus itself. So for the antibody detections, normally we call as is serology testing. Is actually it's from the blood. We detect whether our bodies have these antibodies or not. Okay. So before that, I would roughly talk about antigen testings. Like we know that recently our government's how to say and those rapid antigen tests to upgrade their capacities. So actually, how does the antigens testing the works? We know that the antigen test from the names is look for the antigens. So to identify these the antigens, the antigen test must be used on the antibodies that can capture the antigens. So we detect the antigens, which means that some of the proteins on the surface of the virus, like nucleic capsid. If you look into the structures of the coronavirus, we can see that the structure of the virus have some spike protein, S proteins, nucleic capsid, the proteins. So the antigens test actually is to detect the proteins, the viral proteins on the surface of the capsids. So just like the diagnosed influenza, so the antigen that has used antibodies to produce maybe in the animals or the other proteins. So these the proteins can be detect the viral proteins in the samples. Actually, there's a pro and cons of these antigen that testings. And yeah, because this rapid antigen test is how to say is very, we can obtain the result is quite fast, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. 20 minutes we can see the results, but one of the limitations is maybe is the sensitivities as compared to the PCR as a gold standard. Yes, antigen test we can increase our capacities, but what we quite concerned is how accurate of these antigens, because to detect these the viral proteins on through the swabs, we need maybe more than thousands, 10,000s of these proteins virus in our bodies. Then we only can detect these antigens. So for the antibody that has things, so it's actually it detects our bodies when we infected with the COVID-19, like not only the COVID-19, like other the flu, other virus, other bacteria, our body will produce the antibodies in our bodies. So for the antibody test, we use the blood EDTA, either the EDTA, the plasma, or the serum, the whole blood, to um, to detect whether the antibodies appears in our bodies. Is normally we have two types antibodies produced. IgM maybe can be appears or produced maybe in a short period, like 7 or 10 days. IgG is maybe longer, more than 2 weeks. So this antibody testing is actually not so recommended as screening for the COVID-19 as recommended by KKM, because if we want to first detect whether we are infected, so our body is actually unable to produce antibody immediately after we infect. IgG, IgMs might be appears or produced in our bodies after 7 days, 10 days, 14 days, or even the longest. So this test is not recommended by our DG and the KKM for COVID-19 screenings, especially for the finger pricks, because in the market, we can see that there are many like home testing, rapid tests. We can buy our house and do tests, but our bodies cannot produce antibodies immediately after we infect. That is why the antibody is still not recommended as a mass screenings. But if for the epidemiology studies or study of the prevalence on some communities or the target group for the past infection, yeah, the antibody test maybe is a good options for those the studies of the prevalence. So for the antibody test, which means that if you have detect a positive, means that you maybe have infections, not necessarily you are currently infected, but maybe it's a past infections. That is why antibody test is more recommended for the prevalence studies. So for the RT-PCR test, this is the molecular testings is also the gold standard recommended by the CDC and WHO. And in Malaysia, most of the labs, and not most of the lab, is actually all the labs we using the RT-PCR test. Is a molecular test to detect the presence of the virus. So through the genetic materials, we know that the coronavirus is an RNA virus. Why we call it reverse transcriptions? Because the RNAs have to reverse transcribe into the cDNAs, then only can be detected by the primers and amplified by the polymerase chain reactions. So in the market, we have many different kits for the RT-PCR based on what the genes that we detect. So from this diagram, we can see that there are many genes. We have the open reading frames, one A, one ABs, and the RDRP genes, and we have a spike proteins, S genes, and the N genes. So most of our tasks that use in our lab is a multiplex RT-PCR, which means that we can detect a few genes together, including like, for examples, like E genes, and RTRP genes. So once we all these three genes are detected, then we can safely say that the patient is positive infected by the COVID and the SARS-CoV-2. So, however, the RT-PCR is the highest sensitivity test, but maybe it's one of the limitation is we need a lot of the steps to perform the test as compared to the rapid antigens or antibodies. It takes around 15 to 20 minutes. This RT-PCR we might need around 6 hours. So to run the test and come out the result, and if the samples load is increased, is a lot, like for example thousands, maybe we might take around 1 day for to settle all the samples, because first we to extract the nucleic acid, the RNA, the genetic materials from the virus, we need to do the extractions, like what you already performs in the lab. We need to do like the extractions using columns, but now we have extracted, which means that we can put the samples into the analyzers or extracted, so the machines can extract the genetic the materials within the 30 minutes. So it's quite efficient, and most of our lab is using the extractors to extract these RNAs. It's much more faster than the manual extractions that we perform in the biosafety cabinet tools. So after we extract this genetic material, we need to prepare the master mix for the PCR and we subject to PCR. And this might take around 2 to 3 hours. So after PCR, we need to analyze the results that only we can, how to say, release the report. So actually, for these swappings, actually swap we received in our lab is two swaps, oropharyngeal swaps and the nasopharyngeal swaps. Most of the people will ask why we need using the two swaps, nasopharyngeal and oropharyngeal swaps, like the previous slide. So actually is to increase the sensitivity of the test. And these two swabs is actually put inside in a medium. We call it like the viral transporter mediums. And after we collect the sample, only we send to the labs. And in the lab, some of the lab will process like subjected to inactivations, heat inactivation at 65 degrees Celsius to kill the virus. So this method actually can reduce the risk to how to say in our labs personnel, because we all the lab staff MLTs will deal with all data samples. So the heat inactivations of this the medium before we do the extractions actually can minimize the risk to get infected by the positive samples. And after that, this graph I think can be explained well. Actually, in in what phase we use the what testings, and from this graph you can know that why the antibody test or serology test is not suitable for the mass screenings, because you can see that the IgMs becomes more detected after 7 days, and the IgG is start appears or produce after 2 weeks, which means that after you infected the middle period in the first weeks, actually our antibodies are not produced. So what we can screen the method is we use to detect the RNA or the antigens, and only for the after 7 days or 2 weeks our antibodies can be produced and detected by the antibody or the serology the testings. So This is the overall of the testing. Of course, now we have more and more the different testing like the CRISPRs. So I think today's what I want to share with you all is these three the basic testing that commonly used in Malaysia. Okay, if you all have any questions, maybe we can further discuss in the sections.
All right, thank you, Dr. Sam, for the sharing.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone, so let's get to the questions section. Okay. Let me check first. All right. All right. Questions from I'm not sure whether this has been mentioned during Dr. Sam sharing the testing and everything. Okay. This one from Mavis S. I believe since the mortality is low, which is not same as Ebola, so the number will increase more than it, and also the virus will carry by the potential patient. How do you get this question, Dr. Sam?
This is a question.
Is this a statement or a question, Mavis? All right. All right. So another question, okay, from Sand of Rain. Hello, doctor. Doctor, can you share with us how long it takes for the samples to be analyzed in the lab from collection until result release? Student Zaman. All right.
Actually, from our lab, most of the time we by the same day we give a report. We receive like for examples like now around 12 o'clock we receive the samples, we process extractions, PCR. Around 6 o'clock, the report will be sent to the hospitals or clinics. So we have a how to say in the lab we have like our times like what time they receive, then we until what time we will process. We have some schedule in our labs. So actually before 12 o'clock we receive the samples. Actually we by 7 or 6 the report all will send to the patients, the doctors.
All right. Okay. So next question from Clarice Wong. The COVID-19 virus is able to undergo mutation. Is it possible to produce vaccine after mutation?
No, this is a very tough question. Actually,
I think this is the worst situation you should expect,
yes,
right?
yes. Actually, the mutations not only make the difficulties in the vaccine productions. Actually, it also makes the diagnosis difficult because we detect the genes. So if some of the genes is mutated, so actually also is a create another problem for us to detect the positive in the positive case. That's why we need more and more different genes to combine together to detect the virus. If we just based on the single genes, so if the mutation rate is increased, especially when the virus transmit more and more generations, so we might miss the detection. So most of the tests we using now is maybe is consistent is more than two genes in one testing.
All right. Okay. Okay. So next question, simple one. Is there any possibility the sample test will be contaminated during analytical stage?
Yeah, this is a possible false positive. That's why before we process any samples, we need to make sure that the laminar flows are cleans, and every time we detect a positive, we have some procedure to cleanse our bench, our biosafety cabinet, and we need to handle the samples separately, how to store the samples. All this we have our SOP in our lab to minimize the false positive. And for some of the rapid like serology testing, the false positive sometimes is cross reactions. For example, like antibody test. Because this is we detect the antibodies. Some like for example like 1 or 2 cases we tested the before. Actually, serology or antibody that give the positive in the dengue the patients, but the PCR test, actually we detect negative for a few times. So this is a false positive. For the false negative, yes, of course, this depends on limit detections of the testings. Like for the PCR, even is the highest sensitivities methods. So somehow we have a limit of detections. For examples, PCR is only to detect 10 copies of the virus. If less than 10 copies, we might miss the detections. And the rapid antigen test, yes, they have around 66 to 80% of the sensitivity, which means that we have higher the possibility to miss detections. Like for example, 10 patients, we might miss 2 patients. So now so far we are all the labs still using the RT-PCR as a first choice to detect rather than the serologies and the antigen testing.
For the details answer. Okay. Okay. Another question from Mavis S. Okay. Okay. This is a question, of course. From the expert, the news NTV7, COVID-19 might will stay in our body like AIDS. There might be no cure. Opinion, Dr. Sam?
Well, this is very tough question. This one, actually, I am not so sure is how
Another worst case scenario question.
it says, because I don't have any research on these particular cases how the COVID-19 is coronavirus stay in our body like the AIDS. I think I'm not sure, but my based on my opinions is coronavirus is a respiratory virus, not like the AIDS. AIDS is from HIV virus. Normally, HIV the virus will be in their genetics material will be incorporated into our like, DNA. That's why it's very difficult to cure the HIV. But as I know, the COVID-19 caused by the SARS-CoV-2 is a coronavirus. I don't think the coronavirus will be like penetrate our human body like the HIV virus using our genetic material to generate or replicate more virus. Um, this is my opinion.
Here, the question here is, Dr. Sam, for those who assume that taking the plasma or serum from patients that have cured from COVID-19, meaning vaccine, right? And injecting them in patients that is still, okay? Is it a good way of treatment, doctor?
Yeah,
Our
this
practice,
actually there is no proof from that. Yes, we know that from the recovered patients, how to say, we have the antibody, but there is no any evidence or proof that we take the plasma or serum and inject can create the vaccine or antibody to cure. And we know that now the SARS-CoV-2 got many mutated strands. I don't think it's so easy. We take the blood, serum or plasma, inject can cure the patient.
right? Because me myself also heard about the research about the study.
Yeah,
KKM also studying is there is any possibilities to take from I think blood sample, right? From
yeah,
the
yeah.
yeah. So
Because yeah,
still maybe it's still on study, right?
because we do know the level of the immunities like IgG,
Yeah,
IgM can
yeah,
last how long. Yeah.
yes. Plus the level of immunity differs from each other, right? So okay, next question. This is a financial question from Chi Cheng. How much? How much? But
How
this
much?
is a proactive question lah. If let's say
Okay.
Cheng itself want to take the test its own, yeah, should know the cost.
The cost is around, I think it's 350 to 500 ringgit, dependent. You test this, how to say, the testing, the COVID test in which hospital, which clinics, which medical centers, or maybe you have, because in Malaysia we have drive-through, we have the home service. So it depends which service you engage, then you have different pricing. So normally when you go to the hospital or drive through is around 350 to 400 ringgit. But if you call for the home service, which means that you make appointment, doctor come to your house and do the testing, to collect your swab samples, then the charge might be quite high, up to 600 to 800 ringgit.
Oh, I see. 800 ringgit, guys. But it's worth it because this is the time that you spend your money
Mhm.
with the right way lah. The right way to spend your money. Okay, so don't be so calculative. All right, this is
Mhm.
about life. So why not spend something? Okay, so okay, from Logeshwari Sargalingam. Okay, regarding the SARS-CoV-2, how does it resemble or differs from other deadly virus? Is this a question about SARS or COVID?
Oh, SARS-CoV-2. SARS-CoV-2 is mean the COVID-19.
Oh, I
Actually,
see.
how is same like the other virus or difference? I think is a big difference compared to other virus is the transmissions of this virus is very fast. It's much faster compared to other virus, and the transmission rule is also the difference through the droplets, and the virus actually can transmit to, how to say, the many people in the small crowded areas, and also because of this it's quite difficult to break the chain of the transmissions. So one of the difficult things um, to stop the COVID-19 is the transmissions route is fast.
All right, okay. So, okay, from Samantha Ong, should we recommend the recovered patients to repeat the RT-PCR testing?
Yeah, I think yes, maybe some, how to say, some of the period, because there's a few cases in the Korea and the China's after they recovers from the COVID-19, then even the RT-PCR the test is negative, but after certain the period somehow the virus, some of the virus hidden in our body will be reinfected and cause infections to the virus, and maybe the virus will be mutated to another's virus strand and misdetected during after certain period and come out again. So I think for my opinion, yes, should be retest again maybe few months. And one more thing is you recover if you go out mix with others, also increase the risk to get infected again.
All right. So okay. Next question from Nur Shahira Fazira. Doctor, is it the three samples to test COVID-19 is collected one time, meaning all at once from a patient?
Three samples, I think it's two samples is nasopharyngeal swabs from nasal nasal root, and then the oropharyngeal is actually two samples. We mix two samples, two swabs is mixed into the one the mediums and sent to the lab.
All right. Okay. So, okay, next question. We need to be fast a bit. Hi, Dr. Khan. May you please share how does your lab respond or handle when a positive sample is detected?
Oh, hi, Chang. Okay, actually, when we detect the positive sample, actually we have in our lab we have some portal systems, Zinca. We every day we need to, how to say, to key in the how many sample we test, positive samples. Then from the portal system, actually is linked to the KKM. So actually real time they know that all our private lab, the KKM lab, we know how many sample we test and how many positive samples. And actually, and for the private our all the private lab, we have also our group chat. We every day we have to report how many samples we do, how many positive samples, and of course, beside this, we have to inform clinics or hospital that sending samples to us. We need to inform the doctors, hospitals, and so that they can have a better care of the patients before they send to the government or hospitals.
Dr. Sam, what are preventable way that taken to the workers in the lab during this MCO period?
Preventable can focus.
I think the suit and everything, right? The
Okay,
had to.
we first we have to wear the PPE. We have to wear all the PPE. How to wear the glove, the mask. We cannot just simply take the shortcut. How to handle the samples. Like the sample have to handle inside the biosafety the cabinet. We cannot open the sample because in our lab we treat every sample is a positive sample. We cannot just a shortcut just opens all the samples just outside the biosafety cabinet, and then all these specimens sent to the lab. Actually, they're sent into three-layer the packagings, and which means that in they have a three layers in the water bottles, biohazard bag, we seal. We have three layers. So all these three layers have must be opened, unsealed inside the biosafety cabinet.
Okay. Um, I think other than questions, there are also opinion, statement, and like from Ira Nukira, latest symptom is hardly breathing, which means the virus already in your respiratory tract. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
As the virus has have entered your respiratory system, of course, it will be harder to be
yeah,
cured.
yeah.
You need all the breathing treatment tools and everything. Basically, these are the symptoms for ICU patients, right?
Yes, yes, yes. That need a ventilator.
Yeah, ventilator, right? Yeah, ventilator. But so far, I think the latest update only six patients in the ICU and only two patients are using the ventilator system. So
Yeah,
which is, I think, it's amazing
yeah.
how we curb this situation. All right, so Dr. Sam, we have, I think, yeah, I think this is the last session, but I think one question maybe I can address the question to Miss Malina lah. Miss Malina, can you comment a bit about this? What do people need to know?
Is it from Logeshwari?
Sorry, surprise
In
you.
terms of
Yes.
sorry, come again. In terms of screening for coronavirus and staying in, what do people need to know about to protect themselves and avoid getting sick? Okay. So far, as advised by the KKM, they said that to maintain the safety distance, okay, social distance, okay, and then to always wash your hand, frequent wash hand, and if they say washing hand is not possible, then you just have to apply your sanitizer. Okay, it will help. Okay, and I think more and more preventable way will come out. Okay, to guide us as the study is still actively being done. Okay, like guys, I hope that answer your questions. Okay. Okay, Dr. Sam, do you have anything to add on this questions by Logeshwari?
Mm. I think now is stay at home.
Yeah, simple.
If nothing to do, just stay at home. We wash hands frequently, and the important thing is our immune system. We need to take care of our immune system. If we have the good immune systems, we stay healthy, we sleep enough, we drink more the waters, and things with a good immune system. I think everyone is in good in this tough period.
Yeah.
All
And one
right,
more
all
thing,
right,
when
all
you are
right. I
talking about
think that's all. And the yes, yes.
Ah, I just want to add to Dr. Sam. Okay, to maintain your immune system, I think the keyword is avoid stress. That is the most
Yeah.
important thing. Besides getting enough rest.
All right, my last question. This is my personal question at the time. Is there, I mean, any supplements that you recommend for this current situation? Because a lot of people are taking vitamin C and everything. So, any recommendation from you?
Supplements maybe yes. Any the supplement that can protect your lung. Uh, some like vitamin C. For me, the important thing is sleep enough.
Stay home.
Yeah, not stress. Yeah.
All right, all right, all right. So you can take any supplement as long as it's giving
Mm-hmm.
you peaceful mind, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because at the
Stress,
end of the day,
quite
should
stress.
be no stress. Okay. All right, I think that's a wrap from us, and Balvinder also saying thank you to us. Lovely story. Thank you, Miss Siti. Okay, from Nur Syahira, kita jaga kita, of course, social distancing. Balvinder saying thanks for the answers, Dr. Sam. All right, and okay, I think it's time already for us to say bye to this webinar. Again, the topic was how is COVID-19 is tested in laboratory. So I think this is quite a good sharing with the viewers, and I think everyone should like and share this at your Facebook and Instagram. And for those who haven't follow our Facebook and Instagram, you can follow. You can just type Segi College Kuala Lumpur. Then you can share, like and share this video webinar so everyone can get the knowledge whatever has been shared by our beloved Dr. Sam Kwan. So everyone will get the information. Okay. So thanks to our lecturer also, Miss Siti Marlina Saleh. So thank you for your participation, and of course, thousands of thanks to Dr. San Kwan for accepting our invitation for this webinar and making your time. I know even though people say PKP is about filling your free time, I think doesn't apply for you like that
No.
for you, Dr. San, right?
Yes.
So Dr. San is not free yet, okay? So he's making time for us. So we are feeling grateful, and that's all for today. So last but not least, I think maybe we can say Selamat Hari Raya for everyone on my count. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Selamat
Selamat Hari
Hari
Raya.
Selamat Hari Raya.
Raya.
Bye. See you guys.